welcome back. I'm so happy you took the time again to see what we are up to. For everyone who found us for the first time, welcome. My name is Yanni and I'm doing this DIY channel together with Diane. And of course, for today, we have three new DIYs for you because we are totally into the Christmas season. So if you like this content, I hope you will consider to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Enough talking, let's jump into our DIYs. For this DIY, we need only as a main piece our tumbling tower blocks, and I always love working with my tumbling tower blocks. So I already have my blocks on my table. What I'm going to do a little experiment, but I am always will record it because we will see how this will turn out. If you see it or not, we will. I'm going to try to make a little square lanterns for in your Christmas tree, but I don't know how it will turn out. If it doesn't work, you won't see this at all. So I'm just going to start the music and I'm going to do a little try for my little lanterns. What we're going to do first is, of course, we're going to get three blocks and I'm going to glue all three of them on top of each other. Again, really hard, squeeze them and try them get it as straight as you can. I'm sorry, I just have a little cold. So you see, this way, and just remove the glue. Now we have already a little top of our bottom and of our roof we will have. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take four blocks, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a little square just this way over here, this way over here, and this over here. You see, just a little square. So I'm going to do a little bit of glue on the top. I'm gluing this one against each other, squeeze it again. We are going to do some glue on this side and lay it down again. We are going to lay this one against it also, so we get a nice square. And now we are going to do some glue on this side and a little bit over here. And now we are going to lay this block over here so he is totally fitting inside of the other ones. So I showed you a little bit closer in a moment. This is what we get right now, and you see already the glue is hanging. So this is a little square. Before our roof, we are going to, I already have my whole table under the glue. I'm going to glue this one on top of here so we get the top of our little lantern. So I only need some glue on the inside of our blocks, just a little bit of glue over here and over here. And then we are going to lay down exactly in the middle our top. And this is the top of our lantern. And this is one. Now we get this one aside. What we're going to do, we're going to make the bottom again, three blocks on top of each other. This is number one, and squeeze it. And the third one, and this one against this one, and squeeze it down. And now we already have one piece of our bottom. We are going to make the same square we did already in a while ago for our roof. A while ago is just just a minute ago, but for me it's already a while ago. So you see, just a little bit glue on top of here, squeeze it until here, remove the glue again, take some glue over here on this side, lay it down again, place your block against it and squeeze it. And we are going to do some glue, again the same way like we did with the roof, on here and a little bit over here. Lay it down again and place your block also in between and squeeze it. And now you can give another square. Again, we are going to make the same way we did it with the roof. You can also say we make two roofs, but this will be the bottom and the other one will be the roof. Again, place it in the middle. Of course, I have to look that I have it in the middle, this way. Now you can leave it this way or you can turn it over, and we are going to build our top on here. But because I think that I can't here, this is not totally fitting on top of here and also not on this side, so I have to probably turn it over, and I'm going to glue this block on the sides. So I'm doing on the top, I'm doing some glue, and I'm gluing one of the blocks over here, squeeze it. Maybe it's better lay it down and then glue it. It's maybe a little bit, you get a nicer straight line. You see, now you already have one leg of your lantern. Again, one on the top. We are going to lay it down and we are going to place this against here. Wait until it is dried up. And now you already have two of your legs of your lantern. We are going to do the third one. Again, lay it down and put your leg against it and squeeze it until it is dried up. And the last of our legs of our lantern, because this will be an open lantern, of course, place it down and place your block against it and squeeze it again. And now you already have all your four legs on top of here, and now we can glue this one on top of here, so we have a nice little lantern for hanging in your tree. Of course, we have to glue a bit of here, a little bit of glue over here, one over here and one over here. So now we are going to glue this on top. Of course, we have to look if everything is on the same side, because we want to have it in the same direction, this way. And now we hope everything will stick together. Now we already have a nice little lantern. Of course, he doesn't really look like a lantern yet, but he will be. I made already one extra because I want to have two of them. You see, this is already a little bit looking like a lantern. What I'm going to do, I want to give the top a little bit more body. So I'm going to use always my little scrap pieces of my tumbling tile blocks. This is always pieces in half, so one block and then just saw it in half. Sometimes people also have a cutter for it, so maybe you have also one. No, else you can use it with a little hand saw. You can saw one block in two, and then you have already for both of the little lanterns something. But I want to give it a little bit more body, so I'm going to take I tried already out two blocks and I'm going to place them in the middle. So just glue two blocks together and place it over here, and I'm going to do the same over here. So this is already so easy to do, and it gives a little bit the roof a little bit more body. At least I hope I say it right, body. But and I'm going to glue this on top of here, and of course also in the middle. I'm going to place it in between and just squeeze it until it is dried up. This is already one. And now we are going to glue, of course, also this kind two on top of each other. This is one, and just place them together and squeeze it. And now we are going to do some glue on here, especially the sides. Don't forget the sides, because that's a little bit more important. And then you do go in the length of your lantern, and again squeeze it on top of the roof until it is dried up. And it's easier when we are going to paint it, it's easier to work with. And now I have, of course, two little halves, and you see here this is just the half of one block, and I'm going to glue this one also in the middle again from this tool. So we're just making a little building again in the middle, and of course also in the middle of our lantern. And this is already how his roof is looking like right now. And we have to do this, of course, also with this little block. And so I told you you can use them as an, of course, an ornament in your tree, but I thought they are very cute also inside of a tray or a tier tray. So I think they look very nice. What we're going to do before we're going to glue the little button on top, because if you want to use them as an ornament, you need a button, and you can do a little piece of twine on it, and then you can hang them. So, but first I'm going to paint them. I have already turned over my placemat and I'm ready to paint. I'm chose for the white chalk paint, because I like this time maybe in the white. I love also in the furniture wax. I was debating if I would choose for the furniture wax, but choose any color you like. If you like black, brown, blue, it doesn't matter. I am just going for the white one this time. So I will paint this, and then we're going to do the next step. Already our little lanterns are dried up. What I'm going to do, I'm going to give the top, I think maybe one wooden bead, or maybe some little yeah, you can use them like little people inside a display. I used a couple of them, the bigger ones I used already in my nativity set, of course, on my sign. So, but I think I'm going for the little bead, and I'm going to first I'm going to do some furniture wax, and I'm going to glue it on top and do a piece of rope through it. And then we're going to decorate the inside. I'm just going to take some very simple furniture wax, and I'm going to do a little bit on top of my kitchen towel. And I'm just going to do the bead inside of here and just move it around until he is totally inside the furniture wax. Of course, you can also use a brush, but I was thinking that then I have the total brush under my furniture wax. So, and now I'm going to do a little piece further, and I'm going to wipe off what I don't need. And now you see already we have a nice rustic bead. I will do the other one too, and then we're going to glue it on top of our lantern. I'm going to take a little piece of rope, and I'm going to try, at least if the little hole is big enough, I can double up my rope. And of course you can use a needle to get your rope through the little hole. I hope I can manage this way, and it doesn't take too long. Yes, you see already he is over here, and I'm going to take a little bit of a longer piece, because I don't need too long, because of course it is a little lantern, you don't need too much. Of course I'm going to glue this on top of here, and you see already if you have two pieces you have a nice little hanger for your lantern. You see, this is the already doubled up, and I did a little bit of a longer piece of twine. And of course I'm not going to glue it this way, so with the ends this way, but I'm going to give it sideways, because then my hanger will be a little bit more hanging this way, and now you can see the display a little bit better. So I'm going to go for this side of your bead, but of course you can do it any way you like. I'm going to measure out a little bit where I want to have my knot, because I'm going to do a knot on top of here, and then I'm going to cut it off, because I don't need everything. So, and I like a little bit of the rustic touch. You see, this is just how he will look like, and now I'm going to glue it and he will hang nicely on the sideways of your little lantern. Of course, I'm going to do some glue, but most of the time I already glue my whole table under. So don't worry, do a little bit of glue in the middle, and you can see it a little bit better than you do it when you do it on your bead. And I'm going to place it inside and wait a little second until he is dried up, because you glue, even when it is from your glue gun, it still needs a little seconds to dry up. You see, now he's already hanging nicely on the sides. So I'm going to do the other one also, and then we're going to decorate the inside and do a little light inside. You see already the button is on top, and what we're going to do, I'm going to keep it very easy because we are going to do some little lights inside of it. This is our IKEA lights. And of course, I painted this one in the black color, but normally you buy them in the creamy color. But I always like a little bit more of the darker rustic color, so I did the black. What I'm going to do, I'm going to keep it very simple. I'm going to just place little pieces of my greenery, and I chose for this greenery, but you can choose any greenery you like. Maybe you don't even like the Christmas greenery, but use it as a normal decor. Then you have to choose something you like. Because the spaces are very small, you just have to measure out which is fitting inside of here, and then go glue 4 pieces in each little section over here. So this one is very easy. I just need to downsize it a little bit because he's still a little too big. So I show it to you. I'm going to do some glue on the back side, and this time on the whole piece, not one top, but the whole. I'm showing to you in a moment. I'm going to place it in and then squeeze it on here, and you see now you already have one piece inside, and so I'm going to go all around. You see, I did all 4 corners, but if you look inside your little lantern, you also see that there is in the middle still a white piece open. I am going to take the leftovers from what I did cut off. I'm going to remove the plastic ends, and now I have 2 nice pieces which are fitting inside of your lantern, and just place them on the bottom so it looks totally a green bottom. And you see, and now you have also a little space, I hope, to place in our little light. And I hope my light will work. And I have to place it in the middle. And you see already, this is how your little lantern is looking like. And of course, I show you in a moment the end reveal. And here you see the end reveal of our homemade 2 little lanterns from Tumbling Tower Blocks. I am so happy how both of them turned out. And you can use them in your Christmas tree, and of course you also can use them in your tea trays. Enough ideas to decorate with. I show it to you now a little bit closer so you have a better idea how they turned out.
Okay, so this is, well, actually, the most of what we need for today. I have a cork, yeah, well, what is it? Board here, cutting board, well, not cutting board, coaster thing, I don't know where it's actually for. Anyway, this comes from IKEA. It comes in a set of 2, and I think it's perfect for DIYing. I have a net full of different kind of buttons, wooden buttons here, the tag says. This one comes from the Action, but I bought it a while ago, so I don't know the exact price anymore. I have a paint stir stick, some brown paint, I have white paint as well. Therefore, I also have 2 brushes and yeah, a saw because I want to get rid of this grip here. We're going to make a snowman out of this board. First thing I want to do is saw here. So I'll be going to a place where I can safely saw. And then I'll be back and you see me painting the whole thing because we're going to use the brown and the white paint. Well, back again. Here you see the painter stick. Of course I sanded this side a little bit so you get a smooth edge. And this is where it should be. So yeah, I'm actually going to paint until I think this particular part. First, let's start off with the white paint. Put this a little bit up here. I already shake the can because you have to do that with this paint every single time. I think it's the most, yeah, just start painting around. And then let's say up till here or something. Doesn't have to be that precise. Be aware that when you're painting cork, the drying time takes a lot longer than when you paint on wood or plastic or anything else. But it will look marvelous. Don't forget to do the edges here as well. Just like so. Because you can hang this thing up because there is a hole in here. And then I think it looks more sophisticated when you also paint the edges. Okay, I'm going to continue. When I'm done, I'm going to paint this part brown. A good tip that I can give you is when you're painting for the last time, be sure that you paint the whole surface in one line, because when you're stopped, well, somewhere here, you're going to see that when the paint dries up. That is about, yeah, tip that I want to give you. Okay, that was the white part. Now we're going for brown. Let me place this thing a little bit up here because I want to paint the edge of the hat as well. Let's get some, ooh, almost hang my sweater in it. Let's get some brown paint. This is acrylic paint because I couldn't find some brown chalk paint in here. And do the same thing. Just as you did with the white paint. First I'm going to start off with this one here. Might need 2 layers of this because the quality of this stuff isn't as good as the white paint. And then let it dry. I think the cork needs at least 3 hours, but maybe more now because it's getting colder here. Autumn is coming in. Okay, I will finish the whole thing while you're waiting. I'll be back soon. Now, everything has been painted. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to let this dry, and I'm going to clean my brushes, and when everything is dry, I'll be back with you. I think I also have to paint the inside here. I just forgot that. So I tried to do my best, but I think I just need to wait until it's dry, and then I can do the part inside. Okay, see you soon. Okay, well, the cutting board is dry. This is dry. And I also started painting a button, made out of wood, which is also done. The only thing I forgot to paint was the nose. I think this looks perfect here as a nose. I can make it orange, but I think I'm going to just leave it brown because I love the neutral colors on this DIY. You can perfectly use it with really every kind of decor that you like. So I'm just grabbing a small pencil here. Small brush, and then I just start brushing away. The nose is drying here in the corner. I think it is time to start already applying the hat section, just like this. So I have my glue gun heated up, and I'm just going to glue the different different colors are. Hopefully this is enough. And then just quickly press the whole thing. Now we have a hat. I think this looks pretty cute. You might see that the white paint has a little bit of peeking, brown peeking through. I think that is just the cork. I painted it twice and it won't go away. So yeah, on the other hand, it gives a really cool farmhouse effect. Hope you can see it because it's hard to film. I think I just start with making eyes here with this a black marker. I can switch this thing off, otherwise it's going to leak. Here you can probably see the dot of glue. Otherwise I can paint, but I'm afraid that I'm not good enough with painting. And I think having a line here, maybe out of twine, would be a great idea. Let's go find my stash if I have some. And I also need a scarf. I don't know what I can use for that. Maybe burlap, because then you have so much neutral colors together. And then you can spice it up afterwards with some greenery. Maybe that's an idea. I found burlap here. This big roll comes from the supermarket Lidl. I bought it, I think, last summer or maybe in the spring. And it was really cheap. I think this costed only 2 or 3 euros for about 20 meters or something. This was a garden supply, so I thought it would be great for crafting too. And I have some twine from the Action. Let's just turn it over and then glue this edge here around like this. And then you can create a really cute line. Maybe I'm going to use 2 or 3 lines. I will know. I'm going to wrap it around and see what I think. It looks perfect. So you can do it your way, of course. Only 1, 2, 3, maybe more if you want to. Or no twine at all. Just a suggestion. Look, here you see I just used 3 lines. I think it is time to apply the nose, because the nose is dry. Maybe here. Maybe this is a better position. Yeah, just in the middle of its face. Okay, let's apply some hot glue. For the ones who have noticed, I have a shaky finger day today. Or shaking hands day today. Okay. Now he has a nose. Yeah, I think I'm first going to draw the face, the eyes, and the mouth as well. And then, or maybe first, yeah, maybe I'm first going to apply the scarf. Just holding it here. I'm going to wrap it around back, coming over here, so you have a really scarf idea. Glue that together and then glue the button here on top. That is just the idea. I will show you in the next screen, next movie, how it looks like, how I had it in mind. Okay, this is the idea. You just take a piece of burlap, both sides have to be even, then just lay it around your crafting mat, put this thing on top. I didn't glue anything yet. Normally I would have done that and pull it really tight along the craft, but not today because I want to have it give it a look like a natural scarf. So something like this, and it gets festive as well. Now let me, I started dripping again. Why? Let's grab the glue gun and then just apply a lot of glue here. Quickly grab the button, and I hope that the glue of the button pierces through the twine and the burlap, and that it really directly gets attached to the cork. Ouch, I was stuck. Yeah, it worked. Look. Then you have this. You can of course always glue it on the back side. Just a tiny little dot will be enough. But like this, you really get a warm, cozy idea of the scarf. Yeah, I think it looks pretty nice. You can see that when you, I think I will hope that you can see it. When you don't glue, the top section looks like this. But if you glue it up on the back, it really comes more upwards. So that is really up to you how you want to have it. Just look at this. How happy he is with his cute scarf and his nice hat. Yeah. I like the neutral colors for this time. Normally I would have made it all big and glittery and sparkling red, but actually I'm pretty happy with the brown, white, and the black colors. Yeah, looks like a Scandinavian snowman. Okay, time to start finishing everything off. I have this branch that I first used as a big branch full of berries, but yeah, I think I'll start reusing it. But just picking something off, just like I reuse this cork board. It was, you know, a memory board where you can stick things on. And I also have some greenery. Now, let me see if I can just, well, you know, make something upon the hat. But I have to, that's why I didn't glue the strings here. So you can tuck it underneath a little bit. Something like this. And then maybe here one behind. And then just let's cut off some berries for this job. And that won't come off, of course not. Here it is. Then just, you know, start gluing them in there, if you know what I mean. This is how our little friend looks like right now. I just added 3. I cut one off to make it give a little bit more of a friendly look. So I have 3 branches of green, 3 Christmas berries, and I glued this one over the hole in here. So yeah, it makes more of a hat, and you can also hang it up if you put a cord or anything through it. And I also gave the tie here some fishtail ends. So yeah, it's a really easy DIY. And let us know in the comment section what you think of this DIY for Christmas.
And before we go further into our Christmas spirit, I have to tell you that this video is also part of a beautiful challenge which is called Decking the Halls. And of course, this challenge is hosted by the beautiful Brenda van Rustic and Lace DIY. Her co-hosts for this challenge are Amanda, 6 Kids and a Glue Gun, and Shantell from Crafty Hints. Of course, I will place a link down below with all the beautiful channels for these ladies because all 3 of them have amazing beautiful channels, so go check it out, give them some love. And of course I will place a link down below with the playlist with tons of beautiful inspiration for you to find for the Christmas season. So enough talking, we are going further into our next DIY. For this DIY, we are going to need a couple of this kind of blocks, and these are a little bit smaller than the tumbling tower blocks, but it looks the same, and you can also use the tumbling tower blocks. I'm going to reuse my vegetable jars, and of course, like you see, don't throw your things away. You always can use it for another decor. And of course, some twine we are going to need also. So this is a little bit of the main pieces we need for this DIY. You see already I did my jars inside of some water because we are going to remove the labels because we like to need a clean slate to work with. So I remove the labels and then we're going to do the next step. The jars are cleaned up and we don't need the lid. So the lid I can use for something else. But what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to take my white chalk paint and I'm going to paint this one in the white color. Of course, you can do any color you like. I'm choosing for the white. So I will finish both of them and then we are going to do the next step, and that will be the blocks against this jar. My glass jars are already in the white chalk paint color, and I did it 2 times, but he's still on this side not totally covering, but it doesn't matter because I only need it as a white background. I'm going to glue my little pieces of wood on top of here. You can do it on 2 ways. You can just straight ahead and glue it on top of here, but you also can make little lines. You take a piece of ribbon or a piece of rope, but I think ribbon is flat, so it is a little bit better. You also can use a piece of smaller cardboard just to place in it. So you are going to place with the same spaces in between, and then you're going to glue a piece of cardboard over it, and then you can easily turn it around your jar. But I'm going to try to get them gluing in one time on top of my jar. This can go go right, but it can also be a big disaster. So we will see how this will turn out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to lay down my jar this way, and I'm going to take one of my blocks. This will be my measurement, and I only glue the middle because most of the time the ends probably won't touch the sides of your jar. So, but I have to be sure that my jar is this way so he can still stand up on his own. So I have to measure out a little bit. This is a little bit a hard piece, at least I think, because this is also my first time, but I have to be sure that he can still stand on his glass jar, or else this is too vulnerable to stand on, because it is glue, and of course you can use E6000 or something better glue, but with your glue gun it's always going a little bit faster. And what I'm going to do right now, again, I'm going to do the middle of my piece, and I do it a lot of glue because I want to have the time to straighten it up, and of course place it on the same length like you do with the first one, and again squeeze it, and so we go around and around, and I hope this works. Then it's a little bit faster than doing it with some ribbon, but most, most of the time not everything works the way I want it to be, so don't worry if it goes wrong, it's also not a great deal. And again, squeeze it and keep it in place for a little moment because the glue is very hot, and before it's dried up you still need some time, or else he will change his size. And I'm going to do again some glue in the middle, and we are going around and around. Ooh, you see already this would already be the first mistake. And again I measure out, place it, and keep it in place for a little moment. I have my scissor over here. That means that my jar is not running away, because we don't want it to have it in my lap that I have to glue here. So I'm going to change it up every time so I can do it very easily. But everyone who doesn't want to see how I make it, please go forward, because I don't want to bore you. I don't like when people are bored on my channel, because that's not the way my channel. I hope my channel brings fun and laughter. That's the main thing. And again, and we're going to do the next one, and I'm going to do a couple of them, and then I will do the rest out of camera, because then it will take much too long for you even then. Place it, squeeze it, and get it in place. So I will do a couple of them, and then I show you the last pieces I will do. I promise you to do the last two together, because I have to turn it around a little bit. What I'm going to do, I'm going to do the last, and I am almost lucky that he is totally fitting inside, but I had to cut out a little piece of my wood, a little smaller size. It's only, you can almost see it, don't see it, that is a little how you say it in English, a little piece off, because I just did with some sanding, and I am really happy that he is totally fitting inside. So this is really a luck, but maybe you are also lucky and you don't even have to sand it, so I hope so. Then you can do it without any tools. And again, place it inside and keep it in place for a little moment. And now you see already we have him totally around, and I will have to think about it how I like the, like the ending. You see already both of the jars are now with the little wooden planks. What I'm going to do, I'm going to give them a furniture wax. I couldn't do that earlier because then I always have the chance that some furniture wax is coming on the inside of the little planks, and then he doesn't glue anymore. So I wouldn't took the chance to do it already in front, but if you have another, if you paint it or something else, then you can do it earlier. I have to be careful, so I'm going to really carefully go around with my furniture wax. I was thinking, of course, I already have my furniture wax over here to put it in some furniture wax, but I was thinking maybe it's also fun to have a nice little tag in front of our jar. So I'm going to take you now to my computer, and we are going to make a very simple and easy a little tag for on top of our jars. So that's what we're going to do first, and then we're going to stain it, or furniture wax, just how you call it. So come along with me to my computer. You see already our little print for on top of our jars. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut them out, both of them, and we're going to Mod Podge it in front of it. And then we are going to stain the wood. And of course, these two, if you like to use them, you can find them in our free printable. So I hope you have fun with it. So I'm going to cut it out and we're going to Mod Podge it. My jar is ready. I have my print cut out and I'm using just a simple brand of Mod Podge, but of course you can use anything you like. Some people use school glue. I always use this one. So I'm going to do some Mod Podge on the back side and try to get it a little bit more with, I always do a little bit more Mod Podge maybe than someone else will, because I always like it a little bit redder, because this paper is also a little bit thicker. I'm using now the thicker paper because I like that my print is not shining through. So I have to try to get him in the middle. Of course, I have to look for it that I can still move it this way. And now I'm just going to work my way over the print, and I not going to do a second layer on top of my print because I like a little bit of the matte finish. But if you like, of course, a little bit more of a shiny finish, then you have to go over your print again with some Mod Podge. So this one is already for to stain it. So I'm going to do both of them in the brown color of my wax. I have my furniture wax, and of course I have two brushes, one a little bit wider and a little bit of the smaller one. I hope you can see it. Maybe it's this way better. It has a little bit of the side, and I did cut off a little piece of it to make it more easier to do the tops, because we only want to do the tops. Later on we are going to decorate this with some greenery, so you only need to do the tops of your blocks. And this always better to use this one, because we don't want that it is coming on top of our white chalk paint. So I'm going to do just a little piece and just go over it. It only needs one little layer, so do it very easy, then you don't get something on top of your chalk paint. So I will finish this off, and then we're going to do the next step. The wax is on top of our jars, and you see already how nice it's looking already, only when you do it in some wax, or maybe you can use some paint. Also you can use some black paint if you like that a little bit better. What I'm going to do, I'm going to do a little dot of glue over here, and I'm going to take my twine, and I have a little bit of the smaller one because I don't have the bigger one around right now. So I'm going to use the smaller one. I'm going to do completely under it in the, I'm going to do a little bit of glue. I'm going to lay down my piece of twine inside of here and wait a little second until it is dried up, just over here in his neck, and just wait a second until it's dried up. And then we're going to turn around, and we are going to start totally under it, just round and around, and a couple of turns under, and then we're going to up until we have the complete of our neck of our jar in the twine. And sometimes do a little bit of glue and just glue it on place, but you don't have to use a lot of glue, because with the glue it's not always a pretty sight to see. So try to use as less glue as you can. And we are just going around up, and just little piece, so we have the piece where we normally turn on our lid just is vanishing away, because we are doing some glue and again some twine, and we're going up and up and up and On the top especially use then a little bit of glue, not too much, just a little dot. And again lay your twine inside of it. And again also because the top is always a little bit vulnerable, so just do a little bit of glue there. Again. And if you are at the top, I'm going to do some glue also over here. Again, lay your twine inside. It is just no way you have to do it this way or that way. Just do whatever you feeling is telling you. And again, go down and do a couple of turns. And then we are going to cut it off. Later we are going to make a little bow for it. But for now, we are going to cut off, do a little bit of glue on a piece of twine and lay the other piece inside of there. Keep it in place for a little second and you see already now you have a little bit of a top above. Now I have to get myself out of the glue. I always I glued myself on top of my jar, but it doesn't matter, I'm already loose. Doesn't matter. So this is already one. We are going to do the second one and then we are going to decorate it with some greenery first before we give it a bow. Both of our jars had the first layers of twine around it. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take some old picks and I'm going to use some greenery picks from, I also bought in a garden center with 40% sale, so they are very cheap. They were only, the original price was only €1, so that's already very cheap. So, and I got it for 40% off, so I bought a really big bunch of this kind of greenery because I really love this for the Christmas season. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pull off all of the stems. And what I'm going to do, you see already, they have a plastic middle piece on the end. I'm always going to cut off our piece because I don't like it. What I'm going to do, I'm going to give one layer on top of my jar. So I show you that in a minute. You see already, I placed you a little bit closer. I know for some people it's a little bit too close. But I wanted to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put some glue on the end of our greenery and I'm going to place it a little bit inside of our jar, but we are going to wait a second until this first piece is dried up because we're going to layer and layer, but of course also with pieces which are hanging over a little bit over your jar because that gives a little bit more structure. So you see, this is already one. Now we're going to do the other one, but we're going to lay it under the other, sorry. And again, squeeze it in between here, over here, and just work your way this way. Keep it in place for a little moment, and then we are going to glue the rest of this one. Also because this is a very long one, but it's always really, I don't like to cut off things because I find always you have to use everything. So I'm doing a little bit of glue with it and again glue it around and leave your little top a little bit down so you get a nice layer over here. Again, we are going to get some new one and again some glue on the ends and squeeze it inside of the other one and again keep it in place for a second. And so we go completely around. And if your stamp is a little bit too long or your piece, just do some glue on the back side and go a little bit further in your round and just glue it there and try to work your way down with this one. So again, we are going to take, maybe this one's a little bit smaller, and we are going to glue it again, place it inside and again squeeze it a little moment. And how bigger these little pieces are, the faster you are around. That's only that's the greatest thing. But most of the time I really love a little bit more of the smaller ones because this is always giving a little bit more work because you won't that your pieces is not looking the great because you are making it for the Christmas season, and I always love that your DIYs are looking great. So at least I'm always trying to do it. There's one, and again we're going to take again, oh, this one is a little bit smaller one. Maybe we can do now a smaller one over here, and we are going to again squeeze it inside, and that's where you get a little bit of a nice finishing. And then later with the bow you will see how great it looks. So now we need only one, but it has not to be too long. I think we are going, yeah, we are going to get with this one around, and now we only need this one, and again push it under. I always not this way, yeah. And now you see you have a nice layer around your jar. And if you imagine that we only going to make some little bow bit from twine, and he is hanging over here, so I will do the other jar, and then we're going to make a bow. For my bow I'm going to double up 3 times. I think I'm going to use a little bit of a longer piece. I always can cut it off, because if it's too short you can can cut it a bit. So most of the time I take a little bit longer piece. This is already 2 times, and now I'm going to make my third layer, cut it off, and of course the loops. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to do it very easy. Just make your way you are tying your shoes, and just put it under and get the 3-piece out of it, and just make a nice little bow. And you see you already have a nice bow this way. Now you have a little bit of a longer bow, and we are going to glue it on the sides, 1 piece on here, 1 piece on here, and then we're going to cut off this piece, and then you have a nice cute little bow like the same one we have here. So how easy was this bow? So I'm going to glue it, and I'm going to cut it off, and then you see the end reveal. And here you see the end reveal of our glass jars, and I'm so happy how both of them turned out. They turned out really rustic and gives a nice Christmassy feeling. You can use them with some branches, you can use them just for decor, any way you like. In a moment I show it to you a little bit closer, but for now, thank you so much for being here and spending a little moment of your day together with Dyanne and me. We are so thankful for you, and if you like this content and you want to see more DIYs, come on over to our main channel decoeasy. You find the link in our description box. And of course, if you want more Christmas decor, come on over to my Christmas All About Christmas channel. So all the links you will find in our description box. So enough talking. I wish you all a beautiful, beautiful day. Stay safe. See you next time. Bye.